Governor Newsom says he is fed up. There are no more excuses. He says the state has done its part, providing plenty of funding to get encampments cleared up. He wants to see the results now. Governor Newsom made the announcement here in Los Angeles yesterday. He joined Caltrans to clear several encampment sites.
And we had our big body challenge today. 50 pull-ups, 100 push-ups to try to get under 5 minutes. How'd you get? We got close. That was about 5:25. You were right behind us.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat, our Thursday night TMI show. How you doing, Pat?
Good. Right from work. I don't think we started any new wars today, so it's just the same old this week's wars to report.
Yeah, although we learned of a couple more war crimes over
war
the
crimes.
night, which is like I don't know. I'm sick to my stomach. Like we are all Gaza. Like they got it. And by the way, we're all Libya and Yemen and Syria, right? Like this is not, I mean, Gaza is the worst of all of them.
Right.
But we've been war criming our way through, the Middle East,
the
global South for
in a way, this, Iran conflict, which is huge and going to be a big thing, although it won't be a big ground troops thing ever, I don't think. But it's distracting from all the other places. Israel is just maniacal right now in the world.
Yeah.
Getting its end of the world, like Jews deserve all this land and because it's ours biblically, and it's being ignored. And Palestine hasn't been covered on the main news in ages
at all. Yeah. They board a peace that's starting new wars. But, Hegseth today, like here, we're just going to get right into it because it's our Thursday show. We don't have as much time. Is talking about the greater North America. Like basically, it's just, it is totally rapist mentality. Like you've got something I want and I am stronger and I'm taking it. Like that is where we are right now. We have no international rules of order. We have nothing. Like no punishment, no consequences.
We have nothing. And even Democrats can't even politically leverage any of this to get points on their side. I mean, MAGA, you should be wedging in the divide to MAGA folks about how this non-war president is launching wars left and right. Like this issue alone could win you a lot of seats.
Yep.
And they're just like, no, they really got to kind of go along with the war. They couldn't vote to fucking demand that Congress be involved as they already are legally constituted to be.
Which is that's so crazy that was even up for discussion, just to exercise your actual powers over the executive, right? Like that is a constitutional power. All right, we're going to get into all of it. And first we do want to remind everybody, please to like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. We have this Cheers, I think, is interesting, and it gives me a little bit of hope in the midst of all of this devastation. In Manhattan, Baruch College, which is, I'm assuming predominantly Jews, for the craziest reason. I don't even know why this is permitted, but they had the IDF there to recruit for the Israeli army. So I think it's disgusting that any military can show up on a school campus to try to recruit, but to have a foreign country show up to try to recruit is insane. That is, I don't know. Does any other country do that? Are you allowed to go serve in some other foreign country?
Yeah, but especially when we all know how evil and maniacal and genocidal they are, and we just let them do it. The college kids are every bit as informed on this as we are. I mean, not maybe you and I specifically, but like as the normie Dems, they're ahead of normie Dems on this issue.
100%. So this is at Baruch College in Manhattan just a few days ago.
Your friends did though. Your friends did that. They watch. You Jewish? And what do you think? You Jewish? Bullshit. What bullshit? The IDF? Israel is bullshit? Yes. How you can say that it's a Jewish person?
Because it's a terrorist state.
Terrorist state? So let's come and talk about it.
Come talk. Just come talk.
If you're pretty sure, come talk. Let's talk about it. You know, you see I'm friendly. I'm always smiling. Let's talk about it.
You kill children?
Yeah, I'm looking like a terrorist to you. What?
You kill babies with that friendly
I'm not killing babies, but if you want to talk.
Your friends did though. Your friends did that. They admitted that.
Let's talk about it. I didn't know genocide.
How many underwear of Gaza women you wore in your life?
I'm good. Maybe you want to wear the underwear, but I'm good without it. If you want to wear the underwear, but I'm good without it. I'm fine. I'm not wearing any underwear.
What? Your friends from IDF.
Wait. One person at a time.
Why? Your friends from IDF. It's all over the social media. All right. They wore underwear of women in Gaza, and they were playing around with it. How do you have a little bit of shame?
Can you show me?
You know what? Can you show me what?
Can you show me the picture for me with the underwear?
Yes, it's all over.
Show me.
I don't want to show it. I don't want
because you don't have a picture with the underwear. That's not the truth.
There's many pictures.
Show me that.
Show me.
I can give you a lot of examples. For lots of facts.
What examples of killing babies?
Let's talk about the Great March of Return 2018. You know?
What?
The Great March of Return in 2018.
Они летят во все стороны по проводам. Эти строки тут сносят все как ураган. Передай мой салам, он летит.
Right. So I like it. I mean, that's what it is going to take. I mean, I know we keep saying this, and that does give me some hope. And yes, they are educated about what the IDF is doing. Oh, he disappeared. But like,
you got excited about that, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. But it's just the daily onslaught. Like I didn't sleep well last night, and I don't feel great today. And like everything I did today felt kind of like, ugh. And then I'm like, wait, for 2.5 years on top of, a 17-year siege on top of 80 years, but like they are sleeping in freezing cold rain tents with rats eating at their babies, with scabies, where they have to stand up to sleep or not sleep, with bombs coming down, like where they've lost all their families. Like each thing that they deal with day after day after day. And now it's Lebanon, or it has been Lebanon, but it's continuing again. It's amazing, the reports that are like, since the ceasefire with Lebanon, Israel's bombed them almost every day. It's like a CNN report, and they're still going to call it a ceasefire without any condemnation. Like you could say those words and be like, since the quote unquote, like the way they would do it if they were talking about the Hamas Ministry of Health says, and try to undermine whatever. But since the ceasefire with Lebanon, there has been an attack by Israel almost every single day. And obviously with Gaza also, and now Iran. I mean,
yeah, it's absolutely true. And the press has lied to us forever, right? We've known that. But it used to be a small circle of people that really knew the lying, but now everyone, normie Dems, are like, you're lying to us. And I wish they would go back and revisit COVID, because that set up the groundwork for them to lie about this, in that they still have people saying back when there was a pandemic, when
oh my God,
it just kills me. The numbers are fucking brutal right now still. Yeah. So
do you remember during COVID? I'm like, it's right now.
And the difference is we didn't know during the beginning of COVID that it caused cancer, that it was all your organs were attacked, and just direct deaths are 100,000 people a year still. I mean, that's not what we're doing to our kids.
Disability. Yeah.
But anyway, not to stay on COVID, I want to get off of COVID for now. But that set the groundwork. They just lied to our faces during it, and people bought it, and they're like, well, let's just keep lying. and it's not working as far as convincing people, but nobody's screaming at CNN to cover Gaza anymore, or it's not.
No,
they're just buying all the press. The billionaires are buying all the press.
They've bought all the press, and it's interesting, so yesterday we were talking about Jon Stewart and him, sort of poking fun. I mean, this is too light a word, but at Iran for just bombing everybody. That's how Iran does it. Those crazy religious fanatics, they're just bombing everybody like a drunk guy at a bar. Today, and I mean, of course, I see this. We all see this all the time, right? Like, where are all the protesters who are protesting for Palestine and Gaza? Why aren't they protesting for Iranians who want a regime change? Well, that is so cynical, because even for the people who do want regime change, they don't want bombs flying out of the air, decimating their cities, killing their children, double taps, like war crime after war crime. Sure, but like, that's not our job. But they conflate that so that it's like, oh, I thought you wanted, women. I thought you were pro-female liberation. You just killed 175 little girls. Like, what are you talking about? But that is the new tactic. Like,
absolutely.
Why aren't you more in favor? This is such a backwards country, Iran. It's really disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's just that, you're anti-Semitic, that's why it turns out, because otherwise you would be on this side of this issue too, but you don't like the Jews defending themselves.
Oh my God. It's crazy. All right. Before we start showing some of the worst videos of the week, let's have a moment of respite and joy. Da, 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 da. All right, here we go. 1 second.
Yeah, baby.
You know how to bring the joy.
Okay, 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. I will spin again.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. No way. No way. Let's see it.
All right. You cannot go wrong with dogs and sticks.
Kona, really?
Get it off the couch.
Take it out.
Now.
He's gonna drown himself.
Where did you get that? Careful.
You actually.
Marley, what do you think you're doing? No.
Okay, I was like, oh, I really need it, so cute. And then who's filming a dog not on a leash walking down a street instead of
somebody
the dog?
help that
But
dog.
I love it. That was very cute. That was very cute. All right, more good stuff. We're gonna thank Daniel NY1 for being a member. I know way longer than a month, but welcome back. And your super sticker. Thank you so much for your super sticker. $9.99. Thank you. Wait, what'd you say?
I say we should be paying you.
Yeah. I don't. Everybody's going to take us up on that, and then we're really going to be sunk. Thank you. Cheers. Jezen82. Thank you. Where was the warning? The most moral army. Those double taps. I mean, and honestly, I think all the double taps I have read about have been from the U.S. I mean, obviously Israel does it all the time, but like as far as I am aware, though, well, who knows? But anyway, it's disgusting.
Every single double tap is a war crime.
Yeah.
No, it's just a straight war crime. We're just, not only is this entire action unconstitutional in our own, internally, but internationally, war crime after war crime. we bomb that boat, and then they just leave the people to die on the boat, which is, once you're disabled, they're.
And by the way, so what I only learned, or we all learned last night after the show, was an unarmed warship that had been invited by India, as was the US, to participate in their oh gosh, what they have a name for it, and now I can't remember. Let me pull it up, because my brain, and I haven't been sniffing the rosemary. I know I got the where is it? Milan? Was it called the Milan expose?
Thanks.
Thank you, Justin. Okay. So Milan exercises. They were invited. They paid honor to to Modi, and there was a whole parade in India, and it was like this, it's like a presentation opportunity, and you flaunt your military, but it was a peaceful moment of a parade. The US was supposed to come, backed out, and then as this Iris Dina ship is making its way unarmed back to Iran, we bombed it and then left. And as you said, and we talked about yesterday, it is a war crime when people who have already been basically disarmed and subdued, to then just leave them flailing. So also India didn't come. It was Sri Lanka who came and rescued a few people, but I think mostly gathered the bodies. And they knew that this was a military exercise, and the ship was unarmed, and they were coming from a peaceful parade sort of celebration. And then our government put out like a video game ad about it, video about how we destroyed a warship.
There really is no bottom, and there's no bottom to the lack of cowardice, the pure cowardice of the international community in calling this out.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Did you see? So Friedrich Merz, what is he now? The Prime Minister of Germany? I'm sorry, guys, my brain. No protection. German Chancellor. Iran should not be protected by international law. What is that?
Yeah, it's just like the justification for, immigrants and whatnot. Like, they should all be treated horribly, and the Constitution doesn't apply to them.
They're all just terrorists.
This is the same thing. You can't just say one country's people don't deserve the law of warfare. Like, they're so lesser that they don't get the rules of engagement everyone else in the world has to deal with. Like,
it's like when they talk about Israel breaking the ceasefire, and they'll be like, well, but they said they got some Hamas leaders. That is who the ceasefire truce was with, right? It's not supposed to be with, you're not even supposed to be killing civilians. It is with the people you are engaged in battle with. So it's not an excuse to say, oh, but we got one of their leaders during a ceasefire. Like, but
any country in the world would ever negotiate with us and think we're negotiating in good faith is just absurd. That it's never going to happen in the history of the world again.
Never. No, it is horrifying. Saudi Arabia is now saying, like, all the Gulf countries are realizing that they've just been left out. They thought that they were making some saving, save their ass kind of thing by making these deals with the devil, with the US, and having all our military bases there. And that was going to offer them some kind of protection. And all it's done is, turned their people even more against them, have these, thug military bases in their land. And now they're getting bombed for it. And they're not blaming, they're not blaming Iran for that. They know exactly whom to blame. They are blaming the US and Israel.
Yeah. And this is at the same time, you got, these countries that are trying to cater to American interests and be internationally a safe place for commerce and trade and entertainment and whatnot. And the people, I mean, they may still want the tourism at this point, but at some point it just doesn't coincide with the agendas that these new states have put forward. We're trying to get the golf over there. We're trying to get basketball over there. We're trying to, all these things. And first off, the sports themselves are going to say it's not safe to send your people there because they're so anti-American.
Yeah.
Which they rightfully should be.
Yeah. If those people in the Middle East hadn't already been radicalized against the US, which I cannot imagine, they've been living the things that we watch on our phones for, decades. This will do it. Like, if you thought this was going to spur on the, I guess there's the hope that they're from the US and Israel that they're going to start a civil war by arming Kurds. But the heads of the organizations of Kurds that have been interviewed are saying that no, that's not what they're going to do. They do not want to participate in that. So I don't know, there's so little information coming out. It's pretty horrific. But the language being used by the people in our government is disgusting. So this was Hegseth yesterday.
With maximum authorities. No stupid rules of engagement, no nation-building quagmire, no democracy-building exercise, no politically correct wars. We fight to win, and we don't waste time or lives. As the president warned, an effort of this scope will include casualties. War is hell, and always will be. A grateful nation honors the 4 Americans we have lost thus far and those injured. The absolute best of America.
I mean, how are you going to, justify when we get in some conflict somewhere and the treatment of our soldiers, when this is your leader in the U.S. saying we don't follow any rules, with no more rules for us. We do whatever we want. So you're putting our military at risk. You're putting American citizens traveling at risk.
Yeah. I mean, I think at this point they say either 6 or 8 U.S. troops have been killed, one of whom was 20 years old, like a baby. And some of these people were reservists.
But the reality of our military is that they're all babies. Yeah. I mean, it's you see these recruitments from Israel. Well, that's what they do at our colleges as well. And high schools in particular, they go to the poorest communities and heavily recruit at the high schools where there's not a lot of opportunity. And so our military
that's one of the reasons they keep not a lot of opportunity too, right?
Yeah. 18 to 20 is like the peak number, the optimal median range or whatever of military folks. So it is kids mostly.
Okay. So keeping in mind that the Secretary of War is a psychotic Christian nationalist who wants no rules, then also knowing what the experts say. So this is Robert Malley, who was the lead negotiator of the 2015 Iran deal. He's an expert. He is a nuclear weapons expert. This is what he says about the imminent threat of a nuclear weapon.
By asking you about this intelligence, whether the United States had the intelligence or whether Israel had the intelligence that Iran was just 2 weeks away from building a bomb.
This is not intelligence, it's pure fabrication. There's no way that Iran would have been 2 weeks away from developing a bomb. I mean, the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency has said clearly that they didn't have a structured program to build a bomb. Even if the program had not been obliterated, as President Trump claimed, it certainly had been destroyed to the point where they couldn't immediately pick it up. And by the way, even the most alarmist predictions before the 12-day war were that Iran was at least 6 months to a year away from having a bomb. And that was if they dashed a bomb and before Israel and the U.S. had attacked. So no, this is not a matter of intelligence. It's just a creation of American politicians' minds.
Okay, so Democrats know that.
Yep.
we all, by the way, we all knew this. I mean, it's nice to hear from an expert, but our own intelligence agencies said, I mean, I don't even think they were close in last summer from what our experts said, but certainly not after the 12-day war. So, and what do Democrats, are they committed at this point to not giving Trump his extra $50 billion? No, we're in it now, says Alyssa Plotkin and Tim Kaine. We're in it.
Yeah, we broke it, we own it. But we don't own it like we're not going to do anything for the people. Yeah, you just can't keep funding this crap. And for them to vote to not even have the power in Congress to regulate it is just, how feckless can you be?
I mean, I think every Democrat except for Fetterman voted for the war powers. I mean, it didn't pass, but like they all voted for war powers. But now when it comes to the actual meat of it, which is, so now you have no power in Congress, but at least you could vote not to do the financial giveaway. I mean, you lie to us, don't consult us, and then expect us to send more taxpayer money to a war that we shouldn't have started with no plan and no answer, says Representative Pat Ryan, Democrat, New York, a combat veteran of the Iraq War, in an interview. He called reports of the $50 billion request outrageous. But this is not the universal position inside the party. Several Democrats on the Senate Armed Services Committee aren't ruling out supporting more Pentagon funding. That includes the panel's top Democrat, Senator Jack Reed of Rhode Island, as well as Senators Gary Puter of Michigan, VP candidate under Hillary in 2016, Tim Kaine of Virginia, and rising star Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan.
Hey, you want a place in the Democratic Party in the higher echelon tier, you got to fund the military. And funding the military means give them everything with no constraints whatsoever. You got to support AI being used to target civilians. You got to support AI drone strikes, without people involved. And you got to give them more money than they could ever need forever, no matter what your stated stance is in the public, with the public.
That's the other thing, is now they're saying, I think it was Al Jazeera did a sort of a forensic analysis of the map that Hegseth was showing of the strikes that were around the school that was bombed that very first day. So not only was there a double tap on the school, so there was a bomb, then parents got a call from the school, children who survived and teachers were pushed off into a different room. And as rescue workers and parents were coming back, it was bombed again. But also, Al Jazeera's analysts are saying they think it was intentional because the map was very clear. And for whatever reason, I'm sort of shocked by this part of it. The whole compound used to be, it used to have within its walls a hospital and this school. 10 years ago, they built walls, separate entrances, a totally sort of enshrouded separation to the school. And then about a year ago or 2 years ago, they did the same for the hospital. The hospital was not hit, but the satellite shows that that school was also completely separated and they still hit it. And so either it is a mistake, an AI mistake, or it's intentional. But either way, there is and they do this with Palestinians because that whole compound is a military base. So a lot of the children going to that school are children of military. And they're doing the same thing, like, well, they're all Amalek. If they're not the IRG now, they're going to grow up to be that. So get rid of all of them.
It's just amazing that the U.S. just killed a bunch of young women,
girls. I mean,
kids,
like truly, yeah, and boys.
And that's not like that. Should be every Democrat, if you're the resistance, should say this is untenable. This is why this is the partnership with Israel at this point. and they're not.
No. And yeah, I mean, they're going to vote to give Trump like a don't give him anything ever anyway. But for this, that you're all like pretending that I just, so what is interesting? So this was, you know, Elon Levy, you know, one of the propagandists. The Manab school incident is an extremely tragic story. It seems to be the result of faulty intelligence because the school was on a site that used to be part of an adjacent IRGC base that was bombed. In any case, Israeli forces weren't active in the area and CENTCOM is investigating. So don't you dare try to pin this on us. I mean, let me just say, with friends like those, can you imagine? Like, I mean, whatever. Like, I don't.
I'm convinced it's either a huge AI fuck up, which that would track with, because the AI can't differentiate something from 2002 and 2020 very oftentimes, right? Because they read all these articles and it comes up with this consensus, or it's them using that as an excuse. That will be the end excuse in it, that AI did this because they wanted to do this. It's one of those two options.
100%. Okay, and so we're going to get to the AI thing in a second, but like, that guy is a spokesperson and a propagandist for Israel. And he's basically like just pointing the finger at the US, who is doing this wildly unpopular war because they were dragged into it by, I mean, full agency, obviously, from US. They could have said no, all of that. I'm not, you know, blaming Netanyahu more than Trump and this administration or this whole country. But like, those are our allies in the Middle East. Are like, don't look at us, it's not us, it was them, it was the US. What are you doing?
Hey, they were about to get us into a bar fight, and that person we were going to punch, was going to punch us eventually. So there you go, we had to. That's the logic we're doing. That we're killing little girls using that logic, and it's not enough for Democrats to say, whoa, maybe step back a little bit. It's
insane. I mean, that is insane. Okay, so, and also, you know, that Israeli ambassador Danny to the UN, Danny Danon, said the same thing. This was on Piers Morgan. Listen carefully, and I'm not always like a huge fan of Peter Beinart. He has had a bit of a transition, and I think he is still an overall like a liberal Zionist, but I think that he is useful for other Jews who consider themselves liberal Zionists, because that journey he's been very open about it and he talks about it as a genocide, and he talks about apartheid, like he, you know, so he's on Piers Morgan, and listen to him talking about the slaughter of children at this school and why we're even in Iran in the first place.
To wait, and now it turns out it was friendly fire from a Kuwaiti pilot who mistook them for Iranians. So I just think we need to get to facts before you declare
I understand
that this
what
was
you're
definitely
saying.
an Israeli missile.
Pierce, even if it was an Iranian missile that was fired in response to the attack from Israel and the United States, right? Even if it was an Iranian missile, those girls would still be alive today if the United States and Israel had not launched the attack. So you are right. We don't know who launched the missile, but we know that if the US and Israel had not attacked a country that poses no serious threat to them, Israel has hundreds of nuclear weapons, America has thousands, that those girls would be alive.
Okay, but I would also say to that it is indisputable that it is indisputable to me. Well, hang on, Matt, please. Hang on, please. Let me finish my point. Matt, let me just make the point. You're probably going to make the same point.
They'd be alive in a burqa. First of all, they don't wear burqas, but okay, alive in a burqa, part of a barbaric society. Oh, you're
I want little girls, even if they're part of some religion that is, you know, completely against what I support, and it means them wearing a burqa. I want them alive, and I don't want to be a part of killing little girls based on a barbaric culture. So what are we going to go to every place that isn't modernized as much as the US and justify killing those people because they didn't come to the conclusion that our Christianity is fucking great? Or what is it? Like what?
I mean, and they did that,
disgusting.
The same kinds of people do the same thing about, like Queers for Palestine. They'll be like, oh, they would throw you off a, tower in Gaza for that. Right. And that response, and that's, I mean, yes, I see a ton of right-wing evil fuckers saying things like that all the time. But I see a lot of liberals making that case also. And that is so vile, like that somehow it's okay to commit genocide, killing all the gay people, killing all the girls, because maybe they would grow up in a society that does not treat them as fairly as you pretend you think you treat them, unless you lose an election and then you're like, oh, we went too woke and now we got to throw trans people under the bus.
Well, I mean, we've yeah, absolutely. We've just seen all this horror we can't stop in Palestine. And it's just like, oh, can it get worse? Yeah, it can get worse. You can keep expanding it. Now we can be a part of directly bombing the fucking little children.
Yeah.
And to have both sides of our politics owned by this, like, you must support this, like, can you just justify anything in the world that happens now? Because otherwise you'll be labeled as anti-Semitic, because this war is for Israel. So if you're against it, why are you not speaking up about this other stuff in the world?
Yeah. They've always got something to say, but also that makes no sense because we're not funding and arming and providing political cover to all those other countries. As much as it's horrifying to see if, by the way, Saudi Arabia, none of these people ever talks about Saudi Arabia or Riyadh. Well, they'll go to their comedy festival, right? Dubai.
I mean, Israel could do a 9/11 and we'd just go, yeah.
I mean, look what they did to the Liberty.
I forgot
right?
to say another 9/11.
Another 9/11. Yeah. So there's more of this just to before we spin and give ourselves a little cleansing of the palate. Here's no friend of the show, Jake Tapper.
Yeah, no, it's a great point, because a lot of people in the human rights community and activist community, progressive activist community, who are very critical of other countries, the United States, Israel, the UK, etc. I haven't really heard a ton from them when it comes to Iran. And now Iran is firing missiles at Arab countries, Saudi Arabia, Oman, UAE, and on, Bahrain. And I mean, if any other country did that, I think there'd be a huge hue and outcry and like huge marches in the street.
What is he saying? Like, does he even know what he's saying?
He hasn't heard a lot of our defending, bombing the country and blowing up kids, I guess. That's it. He hasn't heard a lot of us defending, attacking a country that doesn't have nukes, who deserves to have nukes for flatly, like, for their own self-defense. We're not defending the people, and to not be intellectually able at his level, the top news guy at CNN, more or less.
I mean, that's what's terrifying.
To parse the nuance, which is not, the nuance is not complicated. It's like, yeah, a lot of them didn't like the guy they just killed, but he's the religious leader of the whole fucking country, and we just killed him. It's like taking out the Pope, right? So, but he's an evil Pope to a lot of the people, so that they're happy he's gone, but they didn't want him bombed, and they definitely didn't want the children bombed, and they don't want U.S. and Israel injecting themselves in their country's politics like Israel has for fucking decades.
And also, they very specifically, because that's what Jon Stewart said yesterday. They're just bombing Arab countries. No, they're bombing U.S. military bases in Arab countries. Right? Like, so that's already, he's getting that wrong, but acting like, oh, they're all just so lunatics. And then, like, well, like, there is no world in which us protesting here says anything to Iran. We don't fund Iran, right? Like, we are supposed to be great allies with the UK, and their like just complete decimation of any sort. I mean, I know they don't have a First Amendment like us, but like, you know, free speech and protesting has been, I mean, in different ways on par with ours, which has been repellent. Like, what does the US even stand for anymore? We don't have a First Amendment. We don't have freedom to protest. Like, it's just completely conditional on who's in power and how they feel like wielding their power against people protesting against a genocide. So that's what the, you know, as he says, like civil rights people and pro-Palestine, like it's everything is like a not so thinly veiled, like they're also anti-Semitic. And then also look at how barbaric Iran is, right?
Absolutely. And they just abandoned the whole fake premise of us having moral authority in the world. Like that's actually the good thing that's come from this is the world is like, you can't even pretend to say it. And so we're not. Our leaders are just like, no, it's might. Might is what matters.
Yeah.
Might, period. End of story.
I totally agree. And I really do think that what I have tried to do is always just talk about it. Yes, might, but like it's a rapist mentality. You have something I want and I'm more powerful. I'm just going to fucking take it from you, because that I think feels like sometimes when I say might is right, I feel like people are like, well, that's what we did. And, you know, I mean, we're on stolen land here. I'm like, yes, we are. Like, we absolutely are. And I'm not justifying that at all. But like, we're talking about the thing that is happening currently, and it's horrific.
Yeah. And, you know, as we pivot to the next few decades, the U.S. is losing probably its number one thing that it had going for it was the economic prowess.
Right.
Right. So we have the economic, like, hey, it's a big market. We have a lot of dollars to spend, you know, that going for us. And we, you know, we had stuff that people wanted. That part's already gone. So now we're just leaning into the might part. It's just, well, we still have all the forces and the, you know, armies are everywhere, you know, and we can still fund all those armies. We can't fund healthcare for people, but hey, we're never going to run out of money. We're going to keep like the worse it gets in the world and the worse, you know, the more allies we lose, we'll just have more stations around the world, you know, and that's what we're leaning into at this point. And it's all bad for us, because if all we are is propping up a military force to keep what's left of our empire,
I mean,
they can't do that with our economy. So they can do it with our economy if they don't support us at all, which is what's happening.
It is what's happening, but it's also such a clear indication of the end of an empire. And I mean, it will take longer than, I mean, it's going to take long enough that hundreds of thousands more people will die, millions maybe, but like, this is not, no empire survives this. This is not healthy. It's, I mean, it's, I'm so sad that like we have not been able to stop it. And I do think that at some point, but you know, but like, look at what they've done to Gaza. It's just, there's no museums, no universities, no schools, no hospitals. They have destroyed everything. They are, you know, making their buffer zone in Lebanon. They're now this, you know, the city of Tehran, which has like 10 million people in it, which is also, by the way, where the people, if anybody really wanted, like if Jake Tapper were sincere, that city is filled with more people who might actually, you know, be the people who would work to overthrow the government. Now they are rallying around, not because they love whatever the government is, because nobody wants these imperial powers just coming in and destroying everything, their museums, their schools, their hospital. Like,
yeah. And Israel and the US have intentionally tied it to their religion as well. So like, that's, you know, even if I'm not Catholic or something, like if another religion came at our country under the guise of crushing Christianity or something, it'd be like, I fucking hate you just as more than these guys.
Right.
At that point, so yeah, we're just giving people reasons to hate us every day, every fucking where. I mean, our decline is like exponentially expedited through all this stuff with Trump, which probably needs to happen, but so many people are going to die from it. It's
and then yes, and like the repercussions, like even in Vietnam, people are still being born with defects, from birth, because, and I know we talk about this all the time, but like Liz Warren saying we're going to have a green army. This is devastating. We know what happened with the first responders or people who survived 9/11. One day of crumbling buildings. And now, like they're interviewing people. This is the wrong one. Like everybody is covered in ash everywhere they are in Tehran. That will have a whole other downstream effect beyond just the death and destruction happening right in this moment. And we're just like the ship that we sunk, that has devastating effects on beaches. Like there was a man who was saying he was at the Bengal beach, and he's seeing like the beach that was beautiful the day before is just oil sludge coming up on the sand. Yeah, it's horrifying. And this is what Democrats, rising star Democrats, are going to continue to fund. The Palantir thing is also really interesting. So this is Dr. Nafiz Ahmed writing for Byline Times. Palantir provided the Minority Report intel used to justify U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran and is now profiting, shocker, from the war. All three of its top figures publicly advocated for this conflict. One called it an investment opportunity. Palantir's Mosaic. Say again. Oh,
that was one of the co-founders of Palantir.
Who?
That guy? I don't remember his name. I think we had the clip, but anyway.
Alex Karp. Is that? Wait, I just missed.
No, it wasn't Karp or.
Yeah. Shit.
Joe
Longdale or something.
Yeah,
Longdale,
like
right? Yeah, he's disgusting. Like, just they're all openly genocidal. Palantir's Mosaic platform has been the backbone of IAEA Iran monitoring since 2015. A $50 million AI system processing 400 million data objects, including satellite imagery, trade logs, and social media feeds. It works by making predictive inferences from pattern analysis. So that's the pre-crime. Critics call Palantir's tool Minority Report for uranium and pretext fuel for sanctions and strikes. Mosaic was derived from an older Palantir system used by the IDF against Iranian-backed groups in Gaza and Lebanon. This is the AI tool verifying Iran's compliance. When Mosaic flagged uranium surge in June 2025, its prediction that Iran was weeks from multiple nuclear weapons formed the basis for Israel's strikes. But Trump's own DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, where the hell has she been, testified months earlier that U.S. intel found Iran had not pursued a weapon since 2003. No one in the U.S. intelligence community was given the opportunity to probe or verify the new intelligence Israel presented this week. IAEA Chief Grossi confirmed, we don't see a structured program to manufacture nuclear weapons. So they lie.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just lying.
So they're lying, and their AI lies, which they know it does.
Yep.
And they love that both things are true. Like if you've got an AI system, so the AI is going back and these things make 25% errors knowingly. They know this. They know that every time they're given an opportunity, there was a new report on AI coming to its own conclusion to lie to people. Every AI, when checked to see if it was following the rules, would act differently than it did when it didn't think it was being monitored to check for the rules. So it's like if the substitute teacher is in the room, which is when they run a test on will you follow the rules, it acted politely. And when it wasn't in the room, it acted differently. Every single AI does that. So this is a built-in thing. But these AIs, they're consolidating data about this conflict, like historically what happened. So historically, they were 8 months from a bomb, and then there's a war, and the war was from countries it's programmed to believe are the good people in all these conflicts. So therefore, that was a justified conflict because they were close to, it takes that as truth, they were close to having weapons because we're trained to think Israel is the good guy.
Right.
So every conflict encourages another conflict because AI thinks that was all a correct action because they were close to getting it then. So if they were close to getting it then, based on the data I have now, they're very close to getting it now.
Right.
When it's not based in reality, it's based in bias programmed into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just compounded mistakes. And I mean, honestly, that's what humans are, right? Like, you look forward and you don't punish Bush for his war crimes because you're going to look forward. And then just, as a reminder of other war crimes not punished, we have Bill Clinton in 1998 bombing a hospital. We have, so this was I love Alan McLeod. The most deadly attack on the medical facility in world history might be Bill Clinton's 1998 attack on the Al-Shifa medicine factory near Khartoum. 14 cruise missiles hit the plant, turning what had been one of the most important pharmaceutical buildings in Africa into rubble. Although not a hospital, the destruction of Al-Shifa was vastly more lethal than any other attack listed, as crucial antibiotics, anti-malarial, and diarrhea medications were now non-existent in the country. The German ambassador to Sudan estimated the death toll of the strike as many tens of thousands. Virtually nobody in the United States has heard of this incident. Then we have Obama bombing in 2011, Zilton, Libya, destroying the city's hospital. 11 people were killed. Libya was once one of Africa's most successful countries. Now it's a failed state filled with open-air slave markets. Oh, and also in 2015, Obama became the first Nobel Peace Prize winner to bomb another Nobel Peace Prize winner when his forces carried out a major attack on a hospital in Kunduz, Afghanistan, one of the city's most recognizable buildings. The U.S. military was well aware of precisely where it was because Doctors Without Borders had given them their coordinates. An internal inquiry revealed that the airmen aboard the AC-130 gunship that carried out the operation pushed back against their superiors, questioning the strike's legality, knowing the building was a hospital. However, they were overruled and ordered to bomb it, regardless of their concerns. At least 47 people are known to have been killed in the incident. And of course, he also did extrajudicial killings of American citizens abroad. And those are all also fed in to AI, right? It's compounded, all of it. So war crimes are what our presidents do. They never suffer the consequences. They never mete out consequences on the people who preceded them. And this is where we are now. So of course, there's no rules. The US has never had rules. They've pretended, but they've never really had rules.
Absolutely. Just the use of this AI is just headed, it's intentionally headed in the wrong direction. It is anti-worker on every level. It is anti freedom of speech, individuality. Yeah. And it's basically just if you're not going along with what the plan is, AI is going to harm you, and it's going to harm you anyway.
Yep.
But you better shut up about being mad about it, or it's going to harm you more.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got, I want to show the clip of Bezos, not to pivot off of this too much, but they want AI to just make them money. That's what it comes down to. So, so the support for the AI and all these other conflicts, they're going to hide any negatives of the AI because like our whole economy now is propped up. The only thing helping our GDP is this AI bubble, which is going to burst.
Yeah.
But here's Bezos talking about why he wants some AI stuff.
In Miami should have a AI application that reads your building permit for a new house or a new building, and it should give you a yes or a no in 10 seconds. And if the answer is, and if the answer, And if the answer is no, it should tell you the 6 things you have to change to get a yes. And why does it take months and months and months to get a building permit? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the why is because the public gets asked about new buildings and do you want this project in your town or not?
Yeah.
Is it good for do you want a data center? Let's give the public some time to build an argument up against the data center.
10 seconds, baby. Time is money. Time is money. Yeah. That's
so
crazy.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
the deal.
he's at least like so outwardly evil that I think most of the public now despises him, even though at some point they did like him. The one that really gets me is that Anthropic Dario Modé, because he's very like he loves, and Sam Altman is sort of like this, but he hasn't been able to hide how truly vile he is as well as Dario has. So Dario's Anthropic. We've shown several different videos. In one of the videos, he's talking about the real threats of AI and superintelligence replacing hundreds of thousands of jobs, that we're going to have a devastated economy, all this kind of stuff. And in some of these interviews, he'll say, it's interesting to me that people aren't understanding what I'm saying and that Congress isn't acting on it to put up some guardrails. It was Anthropic that funneled millions of dollars into Valerie Fouché's primary on Tuesday against Nida Alam, because Nida Alam in North Carolina has been very vocal about anti-AI, anti-data centers, anti-genocide, right? And Valerie Fouché, who had, or Fouché or whatever the hell, who had to step back just a little bit from being a total supporter of genocidal Israel, even though she still was able to get money funneled through Jeffries by AIPAC. But Anthropic gave her, is it $2 million? I don't know how much money, but gave her a lot of money because she will push their AI and not regulate. And so he goes on to these interviews and acts as if he has some concern for the future of humanity that he's helping destroy, both in his product and by funding people who will help him in Congress.
The idiocracy of it all. Like, these people are villains. I think it's like, now that these tech bros are all getting names to themselves and they're getting tied to their products by their own stupid quotes, I think we're on to the next phase of AI, which is like, hey, we're the good AI.
Yeah.
Right. So he can publicly say this stuff and nobody reports on the other stuff. So, and he also knows, well, we own all the guys in power. They're not going to go against us. So it's like, it's better for them branding wise to be the good AI.
Yeah.
Somehow. And
I don't know.
I think that's what we're looking at.
Yeah. It's marketing.
Yeah.
It's all marketing. And yeah, I mean, calling Larry, I now think we just don't have jobs. It's not AI. China has 1 billion people and they're not worried. They have a different investment in humanity and in their people. And, Sam Altman a few years ago was like, everybody's job's going to be replaced. We're going to have to figure out a new social contract. But first comes first, I got to get me some money. And we're not going to, first, we're going to put you all out of work. We're going to poison your food supply, your air, your water, everything, put you out of work, build the data centers, contract, they all have contracts with military. They're all helping kill. But then we'll talk about the social contract. If you're a billionaire, just think of how easy it would be to help people.
For no billionaire to come and put forth money to help at least join the fight for healthcare or something, you could put $100 million and just fart it out to support universal healthcare for people. Make it just the commercials. Like, you're not even buying the program. You're not even giving $1 billion to California to give everyone healthcare. You're just, here's some advertisement money for the good side of this fight. Can't do it.
Nothing. Or even buy your own energy grid. and your own, like, do something. But everything is just, it's the whole thing, like socialism for the rich and, pull yourself up by your bootstraps for the poor. Wally says on NPR, that's Pat's favorite. Did you hear this part, Pat?
Didn't.
On NPR this morning, an economist said all the jobs created in the US in 2025 were in healthcare. No other industry added a single job all year. I have heard that also. And I think that the healthcare jobs, many of them are in the insurance department, not
the denial. Hey, let's get 50 more people in the denial of claims department. That's what that is right there. Because there's no check on it. I mean, they've literally been able to decimate our population, give our kids fucking COVID 3 times a year, deny claims. My mom's in the hospital. When she gets out, it's going to be like, well, your funding is up, so it's going to be $5 to $10 grand a month for her to continue the care she probably needs. Shit like that is just like, that's how you radicalize people. And the whole country has friends, at least, that are dealing with this kind of shit.
Yeah. The COVID part of it is extraordinary because the disability claims have already skyrocketed. And there's nothing. And also there are a lot of like COVID conscious doctors that I read their blogs or tweets or whatever, but like they're almost forbidden if they want grants to even talk about COVID. So you can't even talk about, you can't do long COVID if you can't talk COVID, and you can't do long COVID and COVID if you can't talk masks or prevention. And so it's just like a la, 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 it's like that. And but, like the effects are still happening.
And remember early on, there were so many economists out there saying, I forget which one particular made the statement.
Even fucking child rapist Larry Summers.
Okay, yeah, Larry Summers. You cannot spend too much on COVID prevention for the economic impacts
no
it's
number
going to
is
have.
enough. Yeah.
And we did not spend to do any of it. So the economists knew the outcome we got now is going to happen if we didn't magically cure COVID, and we never magically cured COVID. It's not. In fact, we went back to just completely ignoring it on every level, to where, you got to pay for your own vaccine for it now.
Yep.
Like it's
your own vaccine, your own testing. Like people are like, oh no, it's just a cold. Did you test? Yeah. With my test from 2023 that expired in 2023, if they even do. Yeah. It's crazy. Okay, let's thank a few super chats before we spin, and then 2F's dog with stick. Sorry, we didn't do that right in time, but yes, that was pretty awesome. Except for that little dachshund at the end who was by itself walking down the street in the middle of the street. I hope somebody saved it.
He was protected. I think the car behind him was driving slow because they were digging it. So
all right. But how do you know he's not going to be like squirrel and run off somewhere? But I hear you. Thank you for the super chat. Fendeo got receipts. America spent $10 billion in 6 days for Israel. Yeah, they are saying now. At first, there's that like ticker, and it was saying it was about 400 million a day. But now they're saying basically it's about $1 billion a day, and now that looks like even more. But I mean, the amount of money to destroy a whole civilization and just wreak absolute devastation on people, it's really unfathomable. These people are so evil. My imagination can't even come up with what I want to happen to them that would be sufficient.
I know. I think it's wild. Like,
thank you, Fendeo.
The wild disconnect to me is the people on the left that are like, yeah, I see how evil our politicians are. I see how capitalism is destructive. I see how we're powerless in Palestine, and it's infused with we're powerless with AI and all this stuff. And then they're just believing the government on COVID, which, like, if you just follow any of the science on it, it's worse than they thought it might have been in the beginning. And they did nothing about it. So if you think it somehow went away, why are you trusting the government? It's
a real disconnect.
It's the disconnect.
It's the one thing huge. Like that. And like, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy wearing a mask. I don't enjoy having to keep this up.
The only one,
Nobody
especially,
does.
like.
What'd you say? The only,
I said
it sucks.
the only one. You know, it's like, oh, I'm the sheep. I'm the only one fucking masking in my entire world.
Yep, me too. Me too. And then, I'm an actress. I'm in Hollywood, right? So like a lot of the things I'm invited to are like a screening and a cocktail party where it's like you are supposed to schmooze. And nope, like, I mean, yeah, I don't enjoy being in a mask. I certainly, as you said, don't enjoy being the only one in a mask where everybody's just looking at me. And I know that I'm just kind of like bringing down the whole vibe. So I'm always just like, I can't, like, is it outside? Is there an outside option? No. So, and that also feel, it's funny, like, by the way, I just want to comment on Gwen. Yeah. I mean, RFK has made very clear that they want a registry of everybody who's disabled. Because, just like Fauci and what was her name? The lady who was like, some of them are going to fall by the wayside. The vulnerable ones. Not Roxanne. I can't even remember.
I can picture her. I just can't remember her damn name.
I actually think she got long COVID. I know Lena Wen did.
She
but
did.
The other
came back afterwards, and she's revising history as well. Like, acting like she always was warning us about this.
Yeah. And that would be nice too. Like, put on a mask, especially in a hospital. That's just crazy.
Yeah. No, I mean, my mom's hospital, she's like, hey, be careful. The flu's going around. Everyone's sick here. It's not, maybe it is the flu, but
but the flu is so much worse and deadly.
I don't see like you're in the urgent care long-term facility and nobody's masking. Like, okay, watch out for that cold.
We watched The Pit, which I really like, and it, one of the creators of it is the dad of somebody that my older son played baseball with, and he's a really nice guy, and it's so well written, and it's very like focused on working class and all different kinds of people and the capitalism of the hospital administration. It takes place in Pittsburgh in an ER. And they talk about vaccinations all the time. No masks ever. Lots of hand sanitizing. They're like married to that. And then they'll even be like, oh, is it TB? Nope, you tested negative for TB. And no, like you thought he might have TB and nobody's even worrying about, like, what are we doing? It's just.
Well, it's crazy. A medical show. Do they ever cover COVID? Have they covered COVID once?
Like they'll talk about, oh my God, thank you. Yes, Rochelle Walensky. Oh my God, I couldn't come up with her name. Thank you. Yes, I got you. Now we got it in all caps. We see it. They talk about in the past. It was in the past. And then every once in a while, they'll be like, well, this person looks really sick. We'll test him for COVID and da-da-da. Oh no, it came back negative. But in the meantime, they're all just raw dogging that air, Yeah. All right. I am.
Yeah, we need some joy. I didn't mean to take us down the COVID trail, but
it's all wrapped into everything. It is wrapped into everything, of course.
Yeah, baby.
I need more wine. All right, you can do an LOL, but I'm following my own audible.
All right, I think we need some crowd work. Crowd work brings some joy here.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. And clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No, God, please, no.
Facebook is funny if you're on the right side of history, and if you're not, you're uncomfortable right now, and that's cool. That's on you. That's good. Speaking of which, Israel. You guys are here, huh? Which one of you? Who is it? You? Oh, you too? Yeah? What do you guys think of the genocide? You big fans or what? You guys here in France just checking out hospitals to bomb or what? What's the vibe? It appears they're doing what Americans call taking the Fifth Amendment, which is a little silent strategy, which is probably the best legal advice for you. Is that what your lawyers told you to do? Lawyers like, if you go to a comedy show, do not talk about it. Okay. And that's good because we are recording this. So, what do you guys do, huh? You're a psychologist. What are you trying to break children mentally? What do you do? What does that mean? What does that entail? Oh yeah, big occupational for sure. Yeah, you put the occupation in occupational psychologist actually. And then what about you? Food technologies. You're like, how can we start functions more efficiently? Oh, I'm Jewish. Does that matter to you? Okay, thank you so much. The girl who I thought was German clapped. And Germany, Israel, kind of version 1, version 2.
Yeah.
That wasn't the joy I was looking for, but I do appreciate, you can't let anyone off here. Like, especially those guys on campus, like trying to rally people to go to war for Israel. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No peace ever. You find out someone's a Zionist, they need to get their shit handed to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Make them uncomfortable. They should never feel comfortable in public, truly. But it's hard to laugh, but I think the laughter was more about, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have picked that.
All right. Since that didn't bring joy, and we're going to be wrapping
everybody.
up pretty
My
soon
fault.
here. Everyone's
and
fault.
Audrey,
There
I
is no
am
joy in the
seeing that
world.
you're writing that, and I absolutely remember the Silkwood Files. And you think that you go through something like that, and the country wakes up, and we never return to anything like that again. And now, it's just, I don't think that drinking water is safe in any part of the whole United States. And certainly,
Well,
our food isn't.
they're changing now to allow more toxic chemicals in our water.
Yeah, Roundup.
We're just going massively in the other direction of what we know scientifically. Like, it's not like, oh, suddenly asbestos is okay and
It's super
glyphosate is
healthy.
okay.
Yeah,
No,
raw
the
milk.
science hasn't changed on any of that shit.
Yeah, shit milk.
All right, as I said, that was not the joy.
Sorry. I gotcha.
So let's have some drama dogs, and we'll come back and wrap up a little bit.
This is a truth to tweet edition.
Thank you, Truth to Tweet, for providing the drama dogs.
Drama dogs.
Oh shit! Out loud on the bed, you no. Yeah.
High five. Too slow.
Tucker, why are you sitting like a human?
Just a little clip.
Alright, now lose it. Just lose it. Go crazy.
You gonna sit over there now?
Why are you mad at me?
I said no, ma'am. Tear your butt up.
Happened? Look at the look at that. What's wrong?
Why is it quiet? How did you get up there? That is not a place dogs go.
They're so cute. I love that. I love it. I'm having some of that. Our dog Lucky is obsessed with Josh, and he's out of town for a couple nights, and so she is cuddled into me really hard. She's very skittish. She misses him terribly, but she'll make do with me. but she ruined my whole sleep last night because she's just like moving in a hot sack, but she's really sweet. Yeah. Lots
Speaking
of drama.
ruining sleep, this little one over here that's invisible right now.
Yeah.
Always wakes me up about a half an hour before I get up. My alarm goes off.
I'm sorry.
Every single fucking day. Yeah.
Vendeo, thank you. Good job, guys. Yeah, after Tony's stuff, I don't know what else to say. Thank you for the super chat. Tony's amazing. And also, if anybody hasn't already seen, it comes on right before our show on Thursdays, but they also have a Monday show and a Saturday show, Revolutionary Change, with Jen Perlman and Peter Hager. And they had Matthew Ho on also. We've had him on a couple times, once when he was running in North Carolina as a Green like 4 years ago, and then just recently with Tony, and he was on their show tonight. And, you know, I wasn't able to watch all of it, so I need to go back and watch, but that they were talking they were talking about the incident that we showed yesterday where that Sheehy guy broke the arm of
a veteran running for
veteran. Yeah.
Just
like that tension between the people who have actually served our country, risked death for these evil child rapist killers, and they broke his arm for protesting against a genocide. It's just like we are in upside down world. Upside down. Thank you, Pendeo. Okay. Should we, because this is the last time anybody's going to care, but like, I almost don't even care anymore. We were going to, like, we keep saying, oh, we're going to talk about, the Epstein files and Hillary and Bill had their depositions, but like, I don't know. Can we even stomach it?
I want to say no. Let's just skip it.
I'm good with that.
I mean, nothing revealing came out of it other than Clinton being a perv still, looking at
He's
down his
so
pictures,
gross.
and he's still a creeper, but there's no evidence tying him to an actual crime. So the Democrats are pretending like, okay, so it's fine that he had these little girls in his lap everywhere he went, on
rubbing
the
his
plane
back and like in the hot tub. Yeah.
I think the connection I've made recently with the Epstein files, and I could just be full of shit, but
just want to end it there.
Yeah, I'm full of shit. But, you know, they haven't explained what happened to all those missing documents on the second claim against Trump, right?
There's like 3 years of missing.
Right.
files.
But there's like one specific claim that never made it publicly. And that section of them is gone from the Epstein files with no current accountability. Yep. And if you think the Epstein files are Mossad, Israel blackmail, and here we are in Iran.
Come on. I mean, in like last
who do you
summer
think has those and is still leveraging them? And maybe they were pulled by his people. I mean, it's
last summer, Mossad put out like, or one, like a spokesperson for the Israeli government put out a tweet saying, and then it was like we showed this, and now I don't have it right now, but like we showed this. It was covered either in J-Post or Ynet or one of the Israeli magazines that they are saying that Trump better hit Iran because they have nuclear weapons. This was the summer of 2025. And if not, we have some video that you probably don't want the world to see. They wrote that. I will find it for our Sunday show, but like they just put it out there. Yeah.
And I would think that's kind of important to get to the bottom of. And we're at the slowest possible process to getting to the bottom of this, because that connection is deeper than him. It's our whole government that, you know, the conspiracy is always worse than the crime. Although in this case, the crime it's not worse than the crime. It's what gets you caught for the crime, the cover up. Right. So
yeah,
where these files are would reveal a lot about the holes in our government that are fully owned and run by this blackmail chain. I mean, just to be conspiratorial as hell.
But it's true. I mean, that's the point of it. That's the point of compromise, right? Like when it was Russia, everybody could be like, oh yeah, compromise. That's what Russia does. It's also what every spy agency does. It's certainly what Mossad and CIA do. And I mean, I think this is part of like, I agree, Director of Demonization. Like none of it matters. Like none of it matters. You can talk about grabbing people by the pussy. You can be accused by several women of rape, as Bill Clinton was, and still be invited to the, DNC convention in the midst of Me Too. You can have 8 credible former employees accuse you of sexual molestation, as Biden had. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody
gives a fuck, and the Democrats are trying to bring back fucking Anthony Weiner, who sent
my God,
dick pics to 16-year-olds. Like that's the party that's going to fight Trump on his predatory behavior. Like, come on.
And also, there was just a vote about releasing all of the sexual harassment claims.
That one, oh my God, what
in
the fuck?
Congress.
Like anyone who voted against that, which was a fuck ton of Democrats.
AOC. Yeah.
Come on.
Well, she had a whole long rambling, word salad of why it was necessary to protect the victims and to protect the people who were maybe sort of implicated just because they'd be thrown into that mix, but like it was actually then investigated, and who cares? Put it all out there. Like, do we believe in transparency and democracy and knowledge? Like, democracy dies in darkness. No, doesn't matter.
And if those are your concerns, if those are your actual concerns, you just craft it in a way that protects the victims. That you say, and it can protect the false claims. It could say boom, boom, charge, outcome, blah. It could be an outline format, but I want to know who's got 27 fucking inappropriate dick pics sent to staffers. Like it tells you a lot, right? So anyone fighting against that, including and especially AOC, is fucking part of the problem.
Especially because, we've covered this before, that when Frank Luntz did that Israel Hezbollah guide, what he found from his polling of and his different polling groups and stuff was that massacre was obviously like emotionally had an effect if you talked about a massacre as opposed to a killing, right? So like we all see the framing when an Israeli dies, it's a massacre, something horrific. When it's a Palestinian, it's like, was killed or died magically. But even more than death was rape. Rape was the thing that actually stuck with people in like, that's barbarism, because everybody's going to die someday. So I think that's probably the thing. Like, it's a horrible death when you're massacred or killed or whatever, but like rape felt like a special level of violation, which is why, of course, they came out with that atrocity propaganda right away, which has been completely debunked, even though the media has never said anything about it. But this reporting, and we haven't covered it, so I just feel like, we should just quickly but this just came out. The United Kingdom gave £90,000 to Sexual Violence Report, which was central to Israel's Gaza propaganda. It was a significant public diplomacy tool, according to Israel. No sooner had the report been published than Israel began using it as propaganda. Within weeks, the Israeli Minister for Foreign Affairs, Gideon Saar, was citing from the report at length in a speech to the UN Security Council. The Israeli government went on to make the Dinah Project's report, that was what was paid for, central to its $45 million Google Ads campaign to salvage its reputation during the genocide. The campaign included attacks on the UN Refugee Agency, UNRWA, and denying famine in Gaza. The claim that sexual violence on 7th of October was systematic has been critical to the Israeli government's moral justification for its genocide in Gaza. It is also a claim complicated by a lack of reliable evidence. In March 2024, the UN Special Representative of Sexual Violence in Conflict, Pramila Patten, concluded that there were reasonable grounds to believe there were instances of sexual violence on 7th of October in multiple locations, though she did not conclude that such violence was systematic. She understood that her findings did not legitimize further hostilities. In emails with Novara Media, who's doing this reporting, the FCDO asked that it be known that it condemns sexual violence wherever it occurs. However, critics have pointed to a damaging double standard, contrasting the UK government's support for the Dinah Project, she's like the first recorded rape in the Bible, with Dinah, with its disregard for Israel's systematic sexual violence against Palestinians, which is well documented. In March 2025, the UN's International Commission of Inquiry on Palestine and Israel published a report on Israel's use of sexual, reproductive, and gender-based violence during the Gaza genocide. The report noted that the IDF systematically destroyed IVF clinics, raped and tortured Palestinian prisoners, and sexually humiliated Palestinian men and boys. The UK has not to date responded to it. So you pay for a report that blurs ideas of what happened and has tons of conjecture, and it's in conjunction. So I don't even know why they're UK lawyers for Israel. Like, why does that exist? That is crazy, but okay. UK, United Kingdom lawyers for Israel they pay for this report that then Israel uses for its propaganda. It's like, it reminds me of the, I do this every time. The Hillary Clinton paying the Chris guy for the, the P-tape stuff about Donald Trump and Russiagate. Her campaign paid the MI6 guy to draft a report about how Trump was compromised by Russia, and then the campaign and all the media could point to this report that the campaign had helped subsidize.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's the fake news starts at the bottom. Like, they get an article written somewhere in some agency that never they don't fact check it very well, and it becomes the norm, because then next thing you know, New York Times is reporting on it, and then CNN is like a new report from the New York Times, and they never get to the basis of this whole thing was just cooked up and there's nothing behind it, and the last thing they're going to do is fact check themselves on the air with the same veracity they made the claims. And with the rape stuff, you can never forgive Biden, because Biden pretended he saw footage on his phone.
Of beheaded babies.
Yeah, he was saying, he said he saw it. So you just trust him. So just trust him. Bought a lot of goodwill with Democrats.
Yep. And Kamala, I think, backed away from the beheaded babies, but still went with the mass rape and systematic use of rape as a weapon of war. Tisha is saving me tonight with the Steele dossier and Rochelle Walensky. Thank you. And also I see Jay also. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, my brain is trying to hold on for dear life. Anyway, that's so gross. Yeah. Okay. I know it's over, right? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, 2 hours on a Thursday. I don't want to hold people too long, because it's been a lot. Yeah. And
we should all just know that Gavin Newsom is already walking back his big sort of apartheid statement. Just so you know. That was he dipped his toe into reality and trying to please the base by acknowledging a sort of apartheid, and he's already stepping it back.
Well, and that's the problem when your real base is the donors, and public support is for everything against the donors. And that's Gavin Newsom's entire existence.
Yep.
So look, Democrats are cooked if they run him. I can't see the Republicans running someone so unattractive to their own base as Newsom is to his own base. And if if Newsom isn't there now, and I said this last week, California is going to make sure he gets Kamala Harris. So world, supporting Newsom, if you want to stop a Republican, you better get him off your list, because I'm gonna make it my life goal to wreck him like the snake.
For sure.
Snakes,
never Newsom. Never Newsom. And even if right today he was like, it's a genocide, it's horrifying, it's too late. Like, your ability to distance yourself from your donors and see reality and speak up for humanity was already revealed that you lack it all. So like, never Newsom. It's
and his Kirk shit led to where we are right now, that the Department of Education puts up a fucking Charlie Kirk banner among the heroes for education. Charlie Kirk banner, you fucking idiot.
Annie Sullivan, like, what? Okay, that's where we are. That is where we are. And, like, obviously it's kind of a nice moment that what's her face got fired today, Kristi Noem, but like replaced with Sean Way Mullins. So you're just, and he's already like, no, we're going to bring the violence to the border and we got to get these people out of here. So like, Bernie Sanders had to stop a fight between him and somebody else. Yeah, it's all just PR. Pathetic.
All right, fuck them all. Let's get out of here. Let's go. We got a one good thing to end it. That's right. On the show.
We absolutely do. We love you guys. We will thank you for being here, and we adore you guys. Keep punching up. Capital One is being called out by protesters for supporting Elbit Systems, which is one of the biggest manufacturers of weapons for Israel, and people are cutting their cards and just saying goodbye to Capital One. So cheers to them. Cheers to all of you. Bye.
Cheers. Join them too. Fuck Capital One and all these AI and tech bastards, and anyone donating, anyone who puts a 401k for like teachers or something into some weapons manufacturers. Come on. Fight them all. All right. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.
Systems is Israel's largest weapons manufacturer.
I'm a Capital One employee. I'm here just to observe. I think what they're doing is amazing. I think it's really great that they're protesting the Elbit Systems.
We are here to stop these weapons from being used in Israel's genocide in Gaza. We are here to stop Elbit Systems from selling off their technology from being used on the border to aid in ICE and CBP's deportation efforts.
So many people at Capital One have been really pretty frustrated by the inability for leadership to take accountability for us being frustrated.
Please be assured to the public.
Today I'm cutting my economic ties with Capital One. I'm cutting my ties with Capital One and Elbit.
Today I'm cutting my card because Capital One is funding genocide.
I am a Capital One employee. I am so proud of the protest that just took place outside of Capital One, and I think they represent a lot of Capital One employees who are afraid to speak up.